Alright, hello everyone, DSP here, and today is Sunday, September 20th, 2015. Welcome to the Week in Preview. We've got a fun-filled, jam-packed week for you coming up, and so what I want to do is cover that and let you know everything to expect in this coming week. But very briefly, before we get there, let's very quickly talk about some big things that happened this past week, including my review of Until Dawn, which was released right here on the King of Hate vlogs. Also, you had the return of the Hate Live podcast, which covered a ton of gaming news, my schedule for the rest of the year, as well as a big discussion of the YouTube copyright system. Again, that could be found right here on the King of Hate vlog, so check that out. In addition, I continued on with many of my gaming playthroughs that I've been doing, such as Metal Gear Solid 5, Super Mario Maker, Mad Max, and Fallout New Vegas. All that gaming footage was over on DSP Gaming, my main gameplay channel here on YouTube. And as of right now, this week is going to be quite an interesting one because I'm going to be doing such a combination of stuff. We're going to have continuing and completing playthroughs, so the end of finally some long ongoing playthroughs. There's going to be a new game released this week that I'm very much looking forward to playing. There's going to be at least one, if not more, game reviews this week. So let's get into it before I get too far ahead of myself, alright? First of all, immediately following my filming of this Week in Preview video, I'm actually going to be filming the, spoken portion when I'm talking and giving my thoughts, portion of the review of Super Mario Maker on the Wii U. I've now played that game 4 sessions. As of now, officially, I am not going to be playing it consistently as a playthrough any longer. What I'm going to be doing is maybe returning to it once a month to see what are those highest voted stages that are on there and maybe try out some of the newer ones. But for the most part, I've seen everything that Super Mario Maker is. I played it for a week straight, and I now feel I can give a fair review. So I'm going to be reviewing that tonight, but I'm not going to be editing that tonight because that takes several hours. So at least I'll have the spoken portion done. And then what I will do, excuse me, what I will do is later this week at some point try to have some time to combine the spoken portion version of the review with video clips and everything that I've been doing this year with my Hateful Truth game reviews to make it a complete review, and I hope to have that released for you by the end of the week. Okay? One thing I want to throw out there before we get started with the rest of the week is the best and worst of Alan Wake montage, which I worked on this week, and I actually released that Thursday night. I was going to originally release it Friday night, but I got sick this week, had food poisoning for a day. If you want to see what I got sick on, check out the newest DSP Tries It, that of course is live right here on the King of Hate vlogs. But anyway, I digress. The best and worst of Alan Wake, Part 1, released over on DSP Gaming earlier this week. Check it out, because there's at least going to be one more part. I'm going to be honest with everyone. Not a lot of people are checking out those montages anymore. Whether it's an old game, a new game, whether it's, my month-end montages or whatever. For whatever reason, the viewership has fallen off for those. And I think a lot of people are under the impression they would rather have me play more games. Like, why are you wasting time when you could have done 2 more streams of Metal Gear this week or whatever? Why are you doing this montage? So, fair enough. If this is the feedback I'm getting, because it seems like it's the feedback I'm getting, I'm not going to be doing many of these montages anymore until, say, maybe the end of the year when we do the best and worst of the year and stuff like that. So, at this point, I'll probably do one more part of Alan Wake. That'll just be some really good, interesting parts of the playthrough up until the end of it, and that'll be it. It'll just be a short 2-parter kind of montage of that playthrough rather than me doing 4, 5, 6 parts like I did with Heavy Rain. I don't think that that's going to retain any viewership. Right now, Part 1 of Alan Wake didn't get much viewership, okay? So just throwing that out there. More than likely, there will probably not be a new part of that Best and Worst montage released this month, but it may be early on in October when I get one out, because I'm going to be focused on reviews, like I just said, Super Mario Maker, and there may be another one this week, so let me explain. Tomorrow, Monday, my first gameplay stream will be Metal Gear Solid 5, and for those of you who have not been following along the playthrough, I'm almost done with the game. I've only got, from what people are telling me, maybe 4 story missions left, and a few side quests that open up side missions that are required, unfortunately, to be completed to grind through the game until you can beat it. And I'll be honest, I've been saying this for the past week, once you get to Chapter 2 of Metal Gear Solid 5, the game stinks. The game slows down, the story barely progresses, there's almost nothing going on, none of the big planned out original missions of Chapter 1 carry over to Chapter 2. I've been playing this now for over, I think I did 2 to 3 sessions of Metal Gear Solid 5 this week, and it's just boring. It's repetition of missions you've already done, and it's just maybe a little variation. Instead of saving the guy that was in the basement of the mansion, now you have to go to the second floor of the mansion and save a kid. It's the same effing missions over, and it really seems like this is where the funding ran out. This is when Konami kicked Kojima in the ass and said, that's enough, finish the game. And it really feels like an unfinished game playing the second half of the game. I'm happy that people are honestly telling me the game's almost over. And it's a shame because I loved the first half of the game, and I really am not liking the second half. But that'll be a big session of it tomorrow. And from what people are saying, I may be able to beat this game and within 1 to 2 more sessions this week. So one of my focuses is to maybe by the end of this week finish up Metal Gear Solid 5, okay? So first stream on Monday, Metal Gear Solid 5. Second stream will be the return to Fallout New Vegas for the first time in a week. And again, similarly to Metal Gear Solid 5, I'm in the endgame of Fallout New Vegas. In fact, it actually looks like, dependent on if or not I can unlock this final side quest line, which is with the remnants of the Enclave. If I can't unlock it, I may actually beat the game tomorrow night, because really there's not a lot left in the game. If I can unlock that side quest line, it'll take a little bit more, add a couple more hours of gameplay. But it looks like I may beat Fallout, if not this week, at the latest, next week, I'll be completing the Fallout New Vegas playthrough, okay? And just to reiterate, no, I'm not going to be playing any of the DLCs. As you know, the playthrough has gone on really long at this point. The hardcore mode made it be more of a drawn-out playthrough, and I got busy with newer games earlier this month, so I didn't play it that much. So we are just going to conclude it normally with no DLCs, and it'll be a good way to have a little precursor to us playing Fallout 4 come November, okay? So that's Monday. Tuesday, a new game is being released. It's called SOMA. It's from the game developers who brought us Amnesia: The Dark Descent. So it's a survival horror game. So I'll tell you right up front, people loved my playthrough of Until Dawn so much because they said, number one, I did face cam for it, and number two, because I had the stream chat closed. I did not read the stream chat when I was playing Until Dawn. So I didn't let it spoil me. I didn't let it distract my attention. I was just hyper focused on what was going on in the game. So as I'm playing SOMA this week, I will be live streaming it, but as soon as the live stream goes live and I start gameplay, that's it. Laptop's closing. I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I did with Until Dawn, because that seems to be by popular demand what people want. So I'm going to give you what you want, okay? However, I can't promise you when I'm going to start playing SOMA this week, and I know that's kind of disappointing. The reason I can't promise you is because SOMA excuse me, is going to be released both on PC and PS4, and because of my limitations of capturing and playing games on the PC all at once, I'm going to actually play the game on the PS4. So that's a good thing. It means that it will have high frame rate, 60 frames per second, if the game runs at that. I don't know. I'm hoping it does. And great graphics, and it'll be great performance, but it also means I don't know when it's going to be released, because unfortunately you cannot pre-order SOMA at all on PSN for some reason. I don't know why. There is no midnight release scheduled on PSN like they do with retail games. And for whatever reason, they don't even say, oh, it'll be released by such and such a time on Tuesday. It doesn't say that. And unfortunately, as we know from history, PlayStation Network tends to upload whenever it feels like it on Tuesdays. Sometimes it'll be early afternoon, and I could play a new game or a DLC on my first stream. Sometimes it doesn't update until late afternoon, so I can't play it until second stream. Sometimes it just doesn't update at all until Wednesday. I don't know why, but PSN is still flaky to this day in 2015. Sony will not make PlayStation Network consistent. Unlike Xbox Live, which is always consistent. So I was kind of disappointed that, you know, why is it that they can't get their shit straight? I don't know. But I'm at the mercy of PlayStation Network. So if SOMA is released in time for my first stream on Tuesday, great. We're going to have a big 3-hour premiere stream. If not, well, unfortunately, it'll have to wait till second stream. Whatever I don't play on whatever stream will be Mad Max. So, for example, if SOMA's not available for first stream, I'll play Mad Max on first stream Tuesday, and then second stream will be SOMA. Or vice versa, depending on when SOMA is available, okay? Wednesday, SOMA will be the first stream. It will definitely be out by then. And second stream is either going to be the conclusion of Fallout or more Mad Max. It all depends. I don't know. If I beat Fallout already on Monday, then obviously it won't be Fallout on Wednesday. But maybe one more session of Fallout to finish it, then that will be Wednesday. Okay? Thursday will be dependent on what people want. And what I mean by that is if after 2 sessions, 6 hours or so of SOMA, people are like, wow, we really are liking this playthrough, we want to see Phil finish this game and push forward, then that will be the main stream on Thursday. If people are not agreeing on that, and man, you know, we saw it for a couple of days, but it's kind of played out now, we'd like to see more Metal Gear. Well, then Metal Gear will be the main stream on Thursday, or vice versa, okay? And then Friday, kind of the same thing. It all depends, because we don't know how long SOMA is. We don't know if it's going to be a 5-hour, 9-hour, or 20-hour playthrough, and we won't know until we start playing it. So because of that, I'm not going to make massive promises to everyone about the rest of the week. But I will be balancing SOMA with the conclusion of Fallout New Vegas and Mad Max. And yes, later in the week, there will be more sessions of Metal Gear Solid 5, okay? Here's my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to hopefully be able to beat Fallout New Vegas as well as possibly Metal Gear Solid 5 by the end of this week, because I would actually like this weekend to work on the Metal Gear Solid 5 review. That would be awesome if I could finish the game off and review it by, say, this weekend, this coming week, all right? The final week, FYI, of September has 2 new releases, but really only one that I'm interested in. The one I'm interested in is the new Tony Hawk. There is NBA 2K16, but I played that 2 years in a row, and even last year there wasn't a lot of interest in it. The only case that I'll be playing NBA 2K16 is if I beat everything. I beat SOMA, I beat Metal Gear Solid 5, I beat Fallout, I beat Mad Max. Everything's done, right? Everything's done, and now I have all this extra time and nothing to play. Then I'll get NBA 2K16 and we'll play it, but I'm not going to promise everyone the world, because we don't know what's going to go, you know, what happens if it takes me twice as long as I thought it would to beat Metal Gear or Mad Max or even SOMA, because we don't know how long the game is. Then obviously it would not have been fair to promise people NBA, and then I don't have time for it, or I only have a little bit of time for it, because that first week of October, whoo boy, the amount of releases that week with Disgaea 5 and the first episode of the new Minecraft episodic game, and a few other possibilities as well. And then heading into that month, there's just so much content coming out. So I don't want to go crazy here and promise the world, all right? I'm just trying to be very realistic here with everyone. So, recap. Tonight, I'm going to film the spoken word portion of Super Mario Maker review, and at some point this week, I hope to take time to finish that review, possibly at the latest on Friday, okay? Monday, excuse me, Metal Gear Solid 5 and Fallout New Vegas. Tuesday, SOMA at some point, paired with Mad Max. I just can't tell you when until we know when it will be released on PSN. Wednesday, SOMA, and then either Fallout or Mad Max, depending on where we are with those playthroughs. Thursday will be, depending on what feedback I get from everyone, either Metal Gear Solid 5 or SOMA paired with something else. Friday we'll have one main stream, and then probably Friday night I'll be working on the Super Mario Maker review, and possibly even starting work on the Metal Gear Solid 5 review, okay? And then this weekend, I will leave it up in the air. I won't promise anyone anything. I get the feeling more than likely it'll end up being the conclusion of Metal Gear Solid or something like that, and me possibly working on the review, etc., okay? So it's a packed week. We've got at least one review, if not 2. We've got the conclusion of possibly 1 to 2 playthroughs. We've got a brand new game. So that's a ton of stuff all for 1 week, right? That's why this week I've opted out. I'm not going to do a Hate Live podcast. I don't think it makes sense to do a Hate Live podcast this week. With all the stuff going on, I have to try to finish it up before we get more busy, okay? A few other things. I kind of started deciding concretely on a few things. Number 1, there is going to be an Indie Games mini marathon. Originally, it was going to be for late September, but I decided I'm going to have it be on October 2nd. That's a Friday. So Friday, October 2nd, there will not be new gameplay of any new games. It's going to be an Indies mini marathon. And as of tonight, I'm going to go to the kingofhate.com forums, and I'm going to create the thread for the August patrons to now vote on the games that they nominated previously for the past week. So we will finally determine what games will be played in that Indies mini marathon. Right now, it looks like some of the games that I expected, like To the Moon, Papers, Please, and Hotline Miami, are getting nominated, along with some others that I never played. So we'll see what happens with that, okay? Now, in addition, the next episode of Ask the King, because there was no episode in August. There was supposed to be, but I got sick. I had such a bad sore throat, I couldn't do an episode. It's going to be October 1st. So that's a Thursday. It'll be my first session stream that day, will be Ask the King. In that episode, I'm going to be answering questions that people have asked throughout the months of August and September. And for the patrons who qualified by pledging $20 or more during those months, they'll also get their questions answered all on that episode. So it's going to be a jam-packed episode of Ask the King coming up on October 1st, all right? So that's a lot to sink in, everyone. I know I kind of wanted to cover as long as I could. The next few months are going to be like this, just to warn you. There's going to be so much going on. It's going to be confusing. I'm going to be trying to give you a preview of a couple weeks ahead of time so you at least know what to expect. I'm going to do my best to try to keep everyone on the same page. It's going to be hard, though. When so many games coming out, and you're going to get now episodic games coming out, DLCs coming out, people are going to start to get scatterbrained. I'm going to start to get scatterbrained because there's so much going on. But I will do my best in the weekend preview to keep everyone on the same page, all right? That's really it. I don't really have much else to say because it is such a busy week. I don't want to go too long here and confuse you any further. I will say this, excuse me. I do realize that this month of September, and especially the past 2 to 3 weeks, has been a month where almost everything's like a long, ongoing playthrough. Mad Max, Metal Gear, Fallout. It's going to get better than that. I realize, you know, these are incredibly long games. Not every game released during the hardcore gaming season is going to be that long. We're not going to have this many releases constantly going on at the same time. My goal, like I said, this week is to finish up a couple games so we can free up the time next week to finish off and get ready for October. I don't want this to become a debacle like it was in late November and all of December last year, where I was playing like 5 games at once, and everyone was disappointed because I wasn't playing enough of any particular game to have interest be retained. And I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to do my best to commit and finish up these games for you and to get the reviews out as quickly as possible. I know, but the longer you wait, the less interest you have in a review. So I want to get the reviews out as soon as possible, which is kind of why I'm telling you, the Alan Wake Best and Worst montages, they're going to have to go by the wayside and probably end up being abridged and probably, quite honestly, be the final best and worst until I work on my year-end videos much later this year, just because there's more things that people want, rather than me just take time out to do those, all right? Finish up games, focus on reviews, rather than, oh, he has to do a best and worst montage, right? So, thank you to those of you who are being patient. Thank you for those who are watching the content. Thank you to the patrons. Thank you to everyone. It's been a great month so far. Let's keep it going. Let's have a great week this week with SOMA and all the ongoing playthroughs and completing games and reviews. Thanks, everyone, for your viewership. I'll see you later. And without further ado, thanks to the following August patrons. Peace out.